There is an overflow room for those of you that are participating. It is filmed in the other room. We are grateful that you all are here too to hear this important work and to be able to listen. There is the opportunity for public input at Education Summit at fldoe.org. So if you have public comments that you want to contribute, please feel free to go there and provide those comments to us. We will be reviewing all of the comments, the public input, as well as the input that is provided here by the work group. And we are also grateful to St. Petersburg College and the EpiCenter, the collaborative labs. You're going to see by the time you leave what great work they do as they help us through this important process. And a special thank you to President Law for his being gracious enough to open his home to us. And he told me as we started that anything we needed, he would personally come and provide to us. So I'm going to hold him to that. Thank you, President Law.
Thank you. You know, if you think back to your college days, and those of you who've been in the classroom, the hardest assignment is to teach the course right after lunch, because getting everybody's attention and keeping that attention is always a challenge. Let me say welcome to all of you. We are very proud to support this effort. If as you work through this, you will understand by the end of the process, you will be closer to a very high-level consensus than you have been at any time previously. So the system works very, very well. All of you have done plenty of time in meetings where you try to reach consensus. This process that we use gives everybody a voice, washes out those who wish to commandeer and keep others from speaking, and encourages those who don't often contribute to be part of the process. We are very proud to have you here today. Let me say a word on behalf of my colleague here in Pinellas County, Superintendent Mike Grego. I spoke with him as late as Friday afternoon. We were hoping he could stand with me here today. He's a fabulous partner doing some really, really good work in the area that all of you are here for. He has his sleeves rolled up on student assessment, student performance, and the documentation and public accountability for all that. And it's kind of fun to watch a close colleague handle it day to day, and he has my full support, as do all of you. My offer was, in fact, if you have anything, I know you all have lives away from this, if there's something you need access to the internet or a quiet spot or documents or whatever it might be, if you'll find one of the people in the blue shirts, Andrew, and PJ's wearing green today. He missed the memo this morning, but we will happy to support any of you. Thank you very much. Welcome to Pinellas County.
Thank you so much. I want to just kind of orient all of us and remind us what we're here for. You've all seen the press release and know that we are here to talk about 4 priorities. And so I just want to remind us, and you see them on the board. We're going to take a moment in just a minute. Andrea will walk us through this. But when we think about Florida state standards, it's important that we continue raising the bar and that we want what's absolutely best for all of our students in the state of Florida. And so we want to think about standards from the standpoint of how do we continue to raise the bar? How do we continue to do the right thing for Florida students? How do we help them to be successful when they leave the K-12 world and use some critical thinking skills, some analytical skills that are so important? We've done a great job in Florida, and it's important that we continue to move forward and make sure that they are prepared. It's no longer enough to have rote memorization. They need to be able to apply the skills that they have learned and how to find that knowledge on their own. So it's really important that we focus on that. Also, when we think about state standard assessments, we have a moral, ethical, and legal obligation to make sure that the assessments that our students take are aligned to the standards that they are taught. And so as we think about that area, we need to make sure that whatever direction we go, those assessments are aligned to the standards, that we also take into consideration things such as timely results I think we would all agree that it's important that we receive the results in a timely fashion. We must take cost into consideration, and whether or not the assessments give us appropriate information, good, accurate information that can help drive instruction, that can help our teachers become better. So that's the other thing for us to keep in mind as we think about standards. Standards and assessments. School grades. There's certainly been a lot of press lately surrounding school grades. And I think that's another area that we need to review. We need to make sure that that process is something that is transparent. That school grades accurately represent the performance of our students and our schools, and it is done so in a very understandable manner that anyone can take a look at our school grades and know what those grades represent. So that's going to be another important focus for us as we move forward. Teacher evaluations. All of us would agree that we need some standard for evaluating teachers to know when they are doing well, when they need additional support, and how we can provide that additional support. So again, that's something that needs to be fair, it needs to be transparent, and it needs to identify strengths and ways that all of our teachers can improve their craft. So that may be something that drives all the other work, or is a component of all the other work that you see up here. So let's not forget the importance of that piece of work. Malcolm Gladwell, in What the Dog Saw or Sees, now I'm not remembering which title that is, says that that is the most important thing facing America today, is our teaching force, is our human capital in our classrooms, and we've got to get great teachers in the classroom. So that's going to be very important as we focus these next 3 days. Don't want to forget anything else. This is, in fact, very important work. When I look around this room and think about what all of you in this room have walked away from for 3 days to commit to being here and doing this work, I'm so grateful to you, because I know some of you are going to have to step away for some periods of time, and I know that every single one of you have had to leave some important work, and it's all going to be waiting for you when you get back. Some of you, it's your second week of school, and that's hard to walk away from. So I am very appreciative and grateful of what you have committed to in being here. We are now going to ask Andrea to come up, and she is going to give us our assignment of work for the next few minutes.
Thanks, Commissioner Steele. Thank you. Welcome. It's great to have you all here. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your commitment to our children's educational excellence. We're going to make history. You ready? Over the next 3 days? When we start any engagement at the Collaborative Labs, we use our appreciative inquiry process, which is to ask strength-based questions out of the gate rather than deficit-based questions. I know it's a flip compared to what you're used to. What we'd like to ask you to do is to go around and introduce yourselves. Just take maybe 10 seconds, share with us your name, your organization, as well as a key strength or success that we can celebrate. Florida is a national model for educational accountability. So when we think in terms of state standards, perhaps there's a strength you'd like to highlight, or state standard assessments, perhaps there's a strength. School grades, perhaps we can celebrate and leverage something that we're doing well in terms of school grades, and then teacher evaluations. So if you do have a specific strength or success you'd like to share in addition to introducing yourselves, please do so. And my partner Alan will capture your words of wisdom live. I know a few of you, 2 or 3 of you, took the challenge. You took our first mission and you're already good to go. So you can just highlight whatever you've already written on the whiteboard. So what I will do is I will ask you to gently pass the mic as we go through. Please introduce yourselves and share a strength or success. Laura, may we begin with you? Thank you.
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank Governor Scott for asking me to be here. My name's Laura Zork. I'm actually the co-founder of Florida Parents Against Common Core. So I'm here today to represent thousands and thousands of parents and grandparents across the state of Florida. I actually live in Vero Beach, Florida. I have 4 children. I have a pre-K-er, I have a 3rd grade, 4th grade, and a 21-year-old. I had her when I was 12, so. But anyways, I feel that probably one of our strengths, if I have to pick one that's up here, I think that one of our strengths would be our existing state standards that we have been so proud of over the last 10 years. I do feel that we could probably build on that, but I do feel like that's probably one of our strengths.
Thank you. I'm John Dixon. I've been in education now for about 35 years. Was in Pinellas County as assistant superintendent, and I now represent several school districts as well as the Florida Association of School Administrators. And we're very interested in the work to be done here today. So look forward to participating with the rest of you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Eileen Siegel, and I am a proud parent, and I'm president of the Florida PTA, which we have 300,000 members. And Florida PTA is also known as the Advocacy PTA, so we're really happy, and we thank Commissioner for bringing us to the table, because that's what parents want. They want. So I bring a lot of voices with me today. And one of the strengths I wrote up here for the current state standards was FCAT and the assessment started all of the districts to look at data-driven. And so we're happy that there was data and that they could see what 1 year to the next year, what was happening, what the students were doing. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Linda Kirshner. I'm the local girl. I'm from Pinellas County here, and I am a parent representative for this summit. I have a son who's entering middle school, well, is in middle school, 2nd week, and my daughter is in her 2nd year at New College in Sarasota. I've been involved in our local school district and actually with PTA and a number of other child advocacy organizations in the state. And I hope to add the parent voice to the conversation today. On the board here, there's so many things. I would say teacher evaluations, I'll start with that, because as you said, I think it does drive a lot of the other things. It's very important to parents that we do have quality teachers, and I think that the effort to identify and provide instructive, informative information to our teachers so that they can improve their instruction to benefit children is essential, and to reward those teachers that are doing a great job and to help the ones that are struggling.
Hi there, my name is Jennifer Grove. I'm the Workforce Development Manager for Gulf Power Company, part of the Southern Company, a regional electric utility. Came down from Pensacola this morning. Thank you for the invitation. I'm also Vice Chair of Workforce Florida, incoming Chair of the Board of Workforce Florida. And most importantly to me, I'm a mom. I have 3 kids still in public school, 1 out. Hands down, I would rather my younger students make B's and C's on Common Core than my junior in high school continue to make A's on the current standards. I do believe that a strength, though, is that we are continuing to ratchet our standards up and continuing to look for opportunities for international comparisons, benchmark comparisons against other states, student performance in other states, and that we've had so many Florida teachers involved in the new standards that we're moving toward. Thank you.
Hi, Tony Carvajal, representing the Florida Chamber with the foundation, and I also have a 4th grade student. I think like Jennifer, many of the items that I would highlight have to do with the long-term commitment and the ratcheting up, but if I had to say one other thing about the standards, it's that it's based in what a student is going to be doing into the future. It is focused on the workforce and the placement for tomorrow. So.
Hello, I'm Senator John Thrasher. I represent Senate District 6, which is parts of, well, it's all of St. Johns County, all of Flagler County, all of Putnam County, and part of Volusia County. And one of my superintendents is here, Joe Joyner, and I always like to give a plug in for the best school system in the state of Florida. And it's good because he's a great leader. We have great teachers and great parent involvement. I guess if I had to put one achievement down for me, on a personal basis, it would be going back to 1998 when we passed the A-plus program in the Florida legislature, and I was speaker at the time. That program, as we are now in the throes of adjusting and adjusting to, I think has had a great deal to do with rising student achievement in the state of Florida. And today, we're here today, I hope, not to take a step backwards, but to take a step forward so that we can continue the great efforts that have been done by our teachers, by our principals, by the people, by our parents. And I think these four things all add up to what I believe will be good student achievement in the years to come for our state. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. My name is John Kirtley, and I'm a partner with a venture capital firm here in Tampa Bay called KLH Capital. I'm also involved with several organizations that are dedicated to helping low-income parents have more options for their children in the K-12 years. And I guess if I had to make a comment on the strength, it would be related to all the ones that are on the board, but I'm most concerned with the outcomes for low-income families, and no state has made more progress over the last decade than Florida in improving the outcomes of low-income children. And that is a testament to the talent of the teachers and the administrators in the public school system, but it's also a testament to the framework they've been working with, and I hope we can improve upon that.
So I'll take advantage of a second opportunity, and I'm Pam Stewart, and it's interesting to sit in a room and have your former boss and your current boss in the same room, but Joe Joyner, I had the distinct pleasure of working in that school district and learned a great deal from Joe Joyner. I appreciate that he's here. A strength that I want to add, not as commissioner, but as having been a principal of a high poverty, low performing school, the year that school grades came out after 1998 and that bill was passed, and I will tell you that I think a strength of the school grades, and I can speak from personal experience, we were an F school that first year that grades came out. And we may have been critically low performing for a time, and we would have been okay with that. But an F really got our attention. And we worked very, very hard, and we moved that school from an F to a C in 1 year. And the positive thing, so that's what I would say is the strength, the positive was that those students in that school benefited tremendously, the high poverty in that school, those students that may not previously have been able to performed as a result of that school grading system. So that would be one strength. I could come up with 5 or 6 on each one, but that's from my personal experience with school grades.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Galvano. I serve in the Florida Senate. Hey, Joe. Senate District 26, which includes Hillsborough County, Manatee County, DeSoto County, Hardee County, Southern Highlands County, Glades County, and Northern Charlotte. So a lot of school districts in that area. I serve as chairman of Education Appropriations in the Florida Senate. In the Senate, that covers pre-K through the university system. So it's one silo, one budget silo that we deal with. I'm also a parent. I have 3 children in the public school system, so the decisions that we make, not just here, but in the legislature, affect me in my own home. I would say as a strength, the fact that we continue to focus on measuring as a state, that we tie policy and we tie funding to accountability in the state of Florida, and have had that movement ever since, as Speaker Thrasher mentioned, when we implemented the A-plus plan. So that's an overall strength within the state of Florida, and I think really we're just here to discuss the best way to measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. My name is Doug Tuthill. I guess my one claim to fame is that my grandparents went to school in Pinellas. My parents went to school in Pinellas. My brother and I went to school in Pinellas. My 2 boys went to school in Pinellas. So welcome to Pinellas. I also taught in Pinellas at the school that my parents went to, St. Pete High. So I'm a homeboy here. I guess my other claim to fame is I think I'm the only person in the room that was a member of the original Accountability Commission that created, out of that came the Sunshine State Standards and FCAT, and set the basis for the current accountability system. I'd like to think we did a good job. We tried our best. It's been interesting to watch the evolution, and I'm kind of interested to see the discussion, having been back involved in the early 90s. I do think we've made a lot of progress. I'm particularly proud of the progress we've made with high poverty kids. That's also a passion of mine. I think that's the ultimate moral challenge that we have, and an economic challenge is fighting generational poverty. We have made tremendous progress, but we have a long way to go, and I think that's the ultimate challenge. So I look forward to us tackling it together.
Good afternoon. My name is Dorina Sackman, and I am Florida Teacher of the Year for 2014. Thank you so much. I work in Orange County at Westridge Middle School, where it is 100% free and reduced lunch, as well as the majority of the population is ESOL. And so I think it's extremely important that we recognize the state standards is exactly that. We're holding a standard extremely high for our students. And it's important that we have students who are English language learners, as well as students with disabilities, that we have the teacher evaluations and the teachers are being recognized by getting certifications and getting endorsements in that. Florida is unprecedented in that, in ESOL endorsements and in making sure that we are truly meeting every single child. And with state standards and teacher evaluations, that will happen. So we do. It does take a village to raise a child, and we are doing that right now. So thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Eric Freston. I'm a state representative from Miami-Dade County. I can't believe I have to follow the Teacher of the Year, but I'll try my best. But English is my second language, so I want to also thank the Governor, Commissioner, everybody in this room for putting this summit together. Like Senator Galvano, I am his counterpart in the Florida House. I am the Education Appropriations Chairman in the Florida House, which also matched the Senate in encompassing the entire silo from early learning through higher ed. I too have 3 children, 2 in the public school system. My young daughter, who just started her early learning career this past month. And I'm excited about the conversation we're going to have today. I think if we're going to take one thing to start off with, I want to point out to Florida's leadership. Not only the leadership inside this room, from everybody from the state Senate to leaders in the PTA, to leaders in the classroom, leaders as parents, but really as Florida, anywhere that you go, and superintendents and anybody in this room that travels the country will tell you, and I've done so in different summits and panels, everybody looks at Florida as a leader, as a leader that is not timid about reform, and that certainly is not timid about having conversations like the ones we're having today. My district, unlike the senators, is only in Miami-Dade County, and I too am joined by who I think is the #1 school district in the state, which is Superintendent Carvalho, and we all have our own parochial interests, but at the end of the day, we know that that Florida must lead nationally, and in doing so, we will do so at the local level as well. So I thank you all for this opportunity and look forward to the conversation.
Hello, my name is Bill Husfeld. I'm superintendent of schools in Bay County, Panama City, way up north, different time zone even. I do want to first thank everyone that had anything to do with putting this group together. As the commissioner said, I believe that it's unprecedented, the challenges that we have in the ability to come together on consensus. I really am excited about the possibilities. I just hope that our ability can meet those possibilities. I do believe that we are a trendsetter with state standards. I believe that going to the Common Core is an important part to that next step. I believe that that is a strength for Florida, never wavering about taking a step forward. But I think we have to be cautious how we do that, and it has to be fair and accountable. Accountability efforts have to be correct and measurable. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I hope we have a good time. I'm going to give this to my buddy Joe Joyner.
Thank you, Bill. I'm Joe Joyner, Superintendent in St. Johns County. Well, bring you greetings from the ancient city. This is my 36th year in public education and starting my 11th as Superintendent of Schools. And a lot of my comments, my brief comments, are reflective of where we were in the 80s and where we are now and what I've experienced. But one of the things I think that defines our school district is high expectations. And I really am committed to having our children take the next level up. They're ready for it. They need it. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go ahead and move forward. I know our children can do it. I expect them to, and they will always, they will never disappoint us. And so I want us to move forward. This is critically important work. Making these policy decisions about where we're going really defines where we're headed. So again, 36 years, you know, when I look at state standards, we didn't used to really have them. So consistent application of standards across the state for all children to know what we want them to know and be able to do is an absolute state responsibility. And I appreciate that fact because we didn't always have it. When you look at school grades, we got pushed off the high dive about 10, 11, 12 years ago, and we needed to be. We needed to be as a public school system. And so school grades brought accountability, enough said. It brought absolute accountability. It has great potential to even do it better. And so under teacher evaluations, one of the things that comes to mind, again, speaking from 36 years, is we now have a research base for teacher evaluations that we didn't used to. It's not just opinions anymore, but it's opinions based on research, and I think that's so critical. So I'm looking forward to the discussion. Thank you very much, and I'll pass it on to Joe.
Thank you very much. My name's Joe Gruters. I'm a CPA from Sarasota, Florida. I also serve on the Board of Trustees at one of Florida's 2 pre-med universities at Florida State University. Go Noles. Thank you to Senator Thrasher and Galvano. I will also say that I think it's a real strength for our state to be able to come together to bring such diverse talent from across the state and from such unique backgrounds to come together to discuss how we're going to move education forward in our state. And I'm very appreciative to be a part of this. So thank you.
I didn't know I was sitting next to a Noel. I'm Joanne McCall. I'm the Vice President of Florida Education Association. In my former life, I was a speech-language pathologist in a pre-K through second grade school in Sumter County. And I guess I come at this from a little bit of a different perspective of everybody else so far. So I'm going to be very cautiously optimistic. Because I have been with, we represent 140,000 teachers and ESPs from across the state, from Pensacola to Key West. I've been all over the state as school begins. Most recently, I was with my folks in Miami-Dade 2 weeks ago. And they're frustrated. They don't feel the system has value, and they don't trust the system. We're concerned about the teacher evaluation system and how it's going to affect students and teachers. And so I say all that to say, I'm appreciative to be at the table, but I will be a voice that will be a strong voice for those who are actually the practitioners in there working with the students, because this is about the students and about making sure that they have the best possible education they can have. You only get one kindergarten year, you only get one senior year, and we can't constantly keep changing it where they can't achieve.
Thank you. I'm Wayne Bland, Executive Director of the Florida School Board Association. Appreciate being here, and I think we're all here for the same reason. I agree with Senator Thrasher. Since 1998, I think our greatest strength has been that we've kept our eye on the ball for student achievement. And as we go through this couple of days, we only have to ask ourselves one question: what is best for student achievement? Thank you. Looking forward to working with you.
I'm State Senator Bill Munford from District 3, and if you allow me, let me tell you where that is, because some of you may have never have heard some of the counties. You've heard of Leon, yeah, this is one of my, several of you are my constituents. And by the way, I'm up for re-election in 2000. But my Senate district is Leon County, and it's this county surrounding, and that's Taylor, Hamilton, Jefferson, Madison, Wakulla, Franklin, Gulf, Calhoun, Liberty, and Gadsden. And we want you to come up and spend some money. I'm also CEO of the Florida Association of District School Superintendents. So I have a dual role in many cases. And Senator Thrasher, by the way, I talked to Bill Husfeld and Joe and Alberto. You'll hear from them. I taught them everything they know. In fact, I taught Alberto, I think he's fluent in 5 languages. And I'm still trying to teach him North Florida language. But he'll get there. Let me tell you what I think that we have a strength in Florida. And that is public education, or education, is on the forefront in everybody's mind. And Joe mentioned the 70s and 80s, and I go back to, I hate to say this, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I was a high school principal for 18 years, school superintendent for 10 years, a classroom teacher before that. So what we have in Florida is a unique opportunity to pull the strength together like I believe no other state has. We have the interest of the business community. We have all of the private interests in it. We have some of the best classroom teachers in our classes today ever in this country, and principals and school board members and superintendents. We also have, and I've only been in the Senate 3 years, but I am just, can't tell you how grateful I am to see how interested and committed my Senate colleagues are, and I'm sure the House members are as well. But my Senate colleagues are committed to doing what's right for education. Our Senate President, President Gates, is a former superintendent. He's been there, he knows it. He's a former school board member. He knows his business. He's also been in the private sector, so he knows how to squeeze a nickel. And so we have, I believe, a unique opportunity in Florida to build on the great success we've had to make our future exceptionally bright. And I'm so glad we're here, and what I would encourage everybody to do is don't hold back. This is a unique group we got here, and I don't think I need to persuade you. Please don't hold back. Put everything on the table so we can make our system even stronger. I also have the opportunity to serve as Bill's vice chair, so I keep an eye on the money with him. And I also have an opportunity to serve as vice chair of my good friend John Legg, Education Committee. So, John?
Thank you. My name is John Legg, State Senator from Hillsborough and Pasco County. So instead of traveling all the way up to the north part to spend your money, just cross the bridge. We'll take your money over there in Hillsborough and Pasco area. And I'm more known as Bill Munford's sidekick in the legislature. I'm a father of 5 kids. My oldest daughter is a school teacher. My youngest daughter, she's in pre-K, so had the whole gamut of all the way through the public school system. If I have to focus on one issue about Florida and what's unique about our strength is our diversity. There is no doubt if we can make a system work in Florida, it can work in the United States because Florida is such a diverse state. Our state is composed of really 5 different states, from the Panhandle all the way down to the Keys. And so we are in a unique opportunity to be a leader throughout our nation because of our diversity and our strengths. And I know that our students and our teachers will do that because we're preparing not just our students for today, but we're preparing them for the world to come. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Alberto Carvalho. I'm the superintendent of Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I'm also the self-appointed principal of 2 award-winning schools, a high school and elementary school. I am most proud of the fact that I'm still a teacher in the classroom. I think if I were to point out a strength, I think this convening is actually a reflection of the strength. The first necessary step in recognizing, at least trying to find a solution, is recognizing maybe there is a looming problem or the need to fix something. And I think that there is effective leadership that recognizes that the time is now, it's not yesterday, it's not tomorrow, to come together, put the dissension aside, somehow ignore the dissenting voices of minorities that often left alone fill the vacuum, and I think we're here to do that. Florida has been on the right course. It does not mean that we've done everything right. We can take this opportunity now to fix the rest. But I think, at the end of the day, the greatest strength of our state is the human capital, that which is taught in our classrooms, and the human capital actually inspires those who are in America's classrooms right now. And since we talked about first in the state, I really don't want to be first in the state. Miami-Dade County Public Schools is the only Florida state ever to win the Nobel Prize in Urban Education in the country. The Broad Prize awarded this past November of 2012. So I stand before you with a great deal of pride for the work that we do and those we represent here. And lastly, since 90% of you talked about your concern for generational poverty, you're talking about me, I really appreciate your concern.
Hi, my name is Alex Lopes, and under the leadership and with the support of Superintendent Carvalho, I became the 2013 Florida Teacher of the Year. Under the leadership and with the support of Commissioner Stewart, I became one of 4 national finalists for Teacher of the Year. A strength that we have is that the quality of Florida educators is nationally recognized, both in the media as well as in academia. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maureen Wilt. I work for Florida Power and Light, the largest utility here in the state of Florida and also one of the largest in the country. I'm a graduate of Broward County Schools. I transferred from New Jersey when I was a freshman, and I have 2 children that are also graduates of the public school system. I think one of the strengths that the state has is that we've continued to raise the standards, that we've been in the forefront. It's critical to our company, as we are a leader energy provider in the country, that we can recruit the best and the brightest. So my role with the company is to support K through 12 education, was something that the company did last year. So my sole purpose is to be across 28 school districts in the state of Florida, to do what I can to connect my company's employees and our money in public schools. So I work way up to the north with Mr. Joyner, and to the south in Miami-Dade County. And so it's a pleasure for us to be here and to represent the business community.
Thank you. I'm Representative O'Toole. I represent the friendliest hometown called the Villages, as well as Lake and Sumter County. So those of you who came from Sumter County, I'm familiar with who you are. I'm very fortunate today to be sitting at the table with 2 very key people. You're a key person too. But April, April over here is the Teacher of the Year for the 6th grade in her school in Duval County. And for those of you who know, that is not an easy school. So one of our strengths is our teachers. And as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3 Teachers of the Year and 1 outstanding national winner. So I think it's one of our strengths. And if ever we're going to keep our standards raising, these are the folks that are going to carry us through that assignment. And I think they're fantastic. Maureen here, not only does she work for FP&L, but she's also a mentor. And I believe that the success of a lot of students as they try to get a higher standard is to have a mentor. And our companies and our private lives, we can all become mentors, and that will help the students, it helps the teachers. And so I'm looking forward to the other good thoughts that are going to come today. And that's it. Randy, tell me something good about you, because I feel bad now.
Hi, my name is Randy Osborne. Aren't you still a mentor?
Yes. Yes, I do.
She also is a mentor. I just want to congratulate her for doing that. There's a couple things I want to bring out about strengths. Well, first of all, there's been some confusion here already. And the confusion is Marion County's got the best school system. But a couple strengths I just want to bring out this morning that I'm going to mention 2 of them. And Representative O'Toole just mentioned it. But our teachers are our strength in Florida. We have the best teachers in the country here in the state of Florida. And we have just got to figure out a way of using that resource, and it's our teachers, of how to get out of their way and let them teach and let them do their job. And I'm grateful for what they do here in the state of Florida. The second thing I want to bring out in a strength is probably in the assessments. The FCAT testing standards, the assessments of the FCAT, the actual standards of the math is higher than Common Core here in the state of Florida. And that I think that we can all attest to. It's a great thing that our standards are already doing very, very well here in the state of Florida.
Good afternoon. I am April Shopper Ford. I am the Teacher of the Year for Duval County School. Also a state finalist. This is doing a segment. If I had to say that choose a strength, actually I have several of them. I would say the state standards, because I've watched my students come up with state standards, just thrive off the state standards. Also, I would have to agree with Commissioner Stewart with the grades coming up. Being a high poverty, low performing school, we've seen our grade come up. And I like to say that in the school like Northwestern, teacher evaluation, or we have the best teachers. I would like to say because it is the training ground for, if you can work at Northwestern, you can work at any school. So I would have to agree with definitely state standards, school grades, and teacher evaluations of our strengths.
Good afternoon. My name is Keith Calloway, and no matter where I stand, I'm going to have my back to someone, so excuse me. I am with the Professional Educators Network of Florida. We are an organization that supports teachers throughout the state of Florida. I am also an instructional facilitator with the Broward County School Districts, and for those of you that might not know what that is, I am a teacher of teachers. I work with teachers in schools. I also work with college students that want to be teachers, and I'm also working with high school teachers that desire to become teachers as they work through their career. I want to also thank the governor and the commissioner for allowing us to be here and be part of this summit today. And I was listening as we were going around the room. There was so many ideas that I hadn't thought of, to be perfectly honest with you, and I thought, wow, that's fantastic, that's awesome. But I really honed in on teacher evaluations because it's been such a topic with so many of our teachers today. And I know a lot of people find this hard to believe with what I'm going to say, but there are many of us teachers out there right now that like the evaluations. We like having meaningful feedback that is given to us, not just, oh, you've done satisfactory, here's an S, move on, no discussion, no dialogue, but actually having a system in place that can provide us, but not only areas that we are excelling in, but also those areas that we can work on to provide our students with the best possible education that could ever be. And I just have to mention one other quick little thing. Senator Munford, I know you don't remember me, but I did my internship in your high school in Tallahassee, Florida. And I remember something very vividly that you said to me one time when you said, you're getting in one of the greatest professions that's ever been. And you know what? What you said was absolutely true. It's absolutely an awesome profession to be in. And again, I thank you so much for allowing PAN of Florida to be part of this forum that we're having today. So thank you again. I look forward to this session.
Good afternoon. My name is Marshall Chrysler. I'm the state president for AT&T. That's kind of my day job. I also serve as the chairman of the Florida Council 100. Since you brought it up, I have to say I'm also vice chair of the University of Florida Board of Trustees. And serve on the Higher Education Coordinating Council under the appointment from Speaker Weatherford. If I chose a word, it would be dynamic. And the reason I say that is I observe where we have come from. In fact, I sat there, I took this device that didn't exist 7 years ago, and I looked up 1998. And one of the factoids I realized was two guys misspelled the word G-O-O-G-O-L, which was the search engine that they began that year, which I used to find out the fact that they misspelled that word in 1998. And I realized how much our workforce and our jobs have changed. And then I realized the kind of progress that our education system has to follow in order to maintain that same kind of dynamic progress. And I think as a business, if I look back at 1998, we were a telephone company. We were a regional telephone company. I look at 2006, and we were still sort of a regional telephone company. But when I look at the world today, and I look at communications and technology and the type of skills and talents we need from our workforce, and I think about, as we interview candidates for the jobs we get, and as a plug, we're hiring, so let's get that, I'm saying positive. But I think about that, and I think about how dynamic the world around us is, how dynamic the workforce is. And it reemphasizes to me our ability not to create, but to maintain the dynamics of our education system and our standards is going to be absolutely critical to our students' success. Your students, I hope someday, are going to become my employees. And I think that's what this is all about for us. Thank you.
I'm Patty Hightower. I'm from the Western Gate to the Sunshine State. I'm a school board member in Escambia County. I'm here today as the president of the Florida School Boards Association, representing the school board members from all 67 counties. It's been interesting because I was president of the Florida PTA back when all of this, I was actually president-elect in '98. And remember sitting as the parent at many tables, being appreciative of the fact that we were involved in those conversations. And because of that, I became very aware of the state standards. And I do believe that the state standards have helped us focus on where we need to go, what our children need to learn, and what they need to do in order for us to grow economically. Because we don't know what we need. We don't know what our children need to learn in order to be your employee this year or to be the employee at Gulf Power. And I appreciate, as I've got the mic, I want to say how much I appreciate the business leadership here. Because I do know that if we don't have you at the table, we don't know how to grow the state economically. So thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Juan Copa. I'm here today representing Patricia Levesque, Foundation for Florida's Future. She will be here tomorrow and the next day, so I get to play Patricia Levesque for 1 half a minute. If you'll have me as a part of this esteemed group, I very much appreciate it today. Most importantly, I'm a parent of a second grader in the public school system. She is part of that first cohort of students that will be assessed on the Common Core standards next year in 3rd grade, so I have a very strong personal interest in the discussion on standards and assessment. But as a strength, I think the strength is really in that setting of strong standards, statewide standards, and having a mechanism, a strong mechanism to measure success against those standards through an accountability system. And I go back to Commissioner Stewart's story of the transformational change that the accountability measure of a school grade provided her on a personal level. The grade allowed the rallying of the community, of leaders, parents, and teachers to ultimately drive student success. And I look forward to the conversation over the next couple of days to strengthen that accountability system to ultimately improve student outcomes. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Gary Chartrand. I'm chair of the State Board of Education. I live in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. I'm also executive chairman of a privately held company up in Jacksonville called Acosta Sales and Marketing. I think obviously all of these things are critically important, but I will focus on teacher evaluations. I think the single most important factor in student achievement is effective teaching. So great teaching trumps everything else. If you took all the other stuff away, you have a great teacher in front of the kids, you'll have great student achievement.
Thank you, Gary. My name is Janet Adkins. I serve in the Florida House of Representatives, District 11, which is Duval in Nassau County. It's great to be here today. I'm also a mother. I have 2 children that attend public schools in 7th and 9th grade. So I have a vested interest in the education of our students, and I look forward to serving here with you these days.
Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Locker. I'm a principal at Atlantic Community High School in Delray Beach, Florida. I'm thrilled to be here, and I thank all of those who are here also. I want to thank Pam Stewart and the Governor for inviting me. I think this is fascinating. It's fantastic, and hopefully we'll be able to resolve some of the ills and issues that confront us each year in the school system. Make no mistake about it, our teachers are the most valuable resource that we have. Our teachers are so important. I've worked at a number of schools, Title I schools, and right now I'm at a very diversified high school. We've got an IB program that's phenomenal, ranked nationally every year, but I also have a group of students who are indigent, who are not doing well, financially speaking. And it's an awful commentary for a student to have nothing but dream something, yet lose hoping because there is no one there to advocate for them. That's a pain that I have to deal with. And we need to rid ourselves of that pain. And hopefully we'll be able to do that over these next 3 days. Thank you.
Are we out of time?
My name is Steve Chambers. I have 132 kids. Middle school in Okaloosa County. And I'm missing them right now, but I think it's for the greater good. The second week of school, I got a great sub, so he's gonna, do all my policies and procedures for me. But I'm with the Professional Educators Network of Florida. I'm the chairman of the board. And we want to thank the governor for inviting us and giving us a place here. I think teacher evaluations, I've always said, evaluate me fairly. I do a great job in the classroom, so I'm not afraid of being evaluated. And I think that good teachers aren't. They're ready for the challenges. When we're talking about the standards and the assessments, I think we have some of the best standards because I talk to people, teachers from all the states, because as goes Florida, as goes the rest of the nation. So I'm always getting phone calls from friends of mine in other states like, hey, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing about this? So we're leading the way with this. And these assessments, I just think that, bring it. That's what I have to say. You know, I'm ready to teach my kids and take them where they need to be. I've been doing that since I've been in the classroom. And like my principal says all the time, you either improve or you go backwards. You never stay the same. So we need to be constantly improving. Thank you.